ge du je zhao je rui sen zhong yun je me de tui je gong jiang bo zi je leng bo ta wu ri ji bi xiao je jiao bi xiao la gu san zi jiao ge ri ben qin bo la ga jin ben ma yong ne ge lan den zhong me da da lan ne xin be gang ne Orjin Rumbo Jela Zorwan de Orjin Janjin de Long Naroda Marban Mala Jije Ram Amo Java Jarwan Jigong Vega Julama Namla Zorwan de Romain Jije Yin Rang Ni De Zom Zanje Genje Ngo Nye Razan Jigen Ngo Zan Don Zebe Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Okay, so we have many different countries. So not enough good morning only. Also not enough good afternoon. Some need good morning, some need good afternoon, some need good evening, some need a good night. So the listening, teaching at the same moment they go for sleep night together, I think, some area. Today, so I'm going to share this Lama Tsongkhapa's the three principal aspects of the path. So, and this is Italy, right? Another is Italy, or the three languages, right? One is Italy or no? English with which language this one? This text has three languages, right? One is Tibetan.
Yeah, I said now to everybody what you said to me, so I shared here.
Okay. Okay, so these three, the teaching is three prince aspect of the path by Lama Tsongkhapa. So these three principal aspect teaching is a very popular, very famous teaching actually. All this Tibetan different lineage sharing this teaching. And that's why I received many teachings from different kind of teachers, this teaching. Very important teaching. So Tsongkhapa, he bring actually they're called Lamrim. Lamrim is like path, long teaching. He bring all the teachings into this three principal aspects. This very short teaching. I'm sharing is actually is first time for the people sharing this teaching. I received this teaching many times. Long time ago, I have memorized this one, so now it's a forget. Now everything is new for me again. Long time ago, we chant every single day these prayers. It's good for practicing the going with the Dharma and the practice. So here is I bowed down to my perfect gurus. Then Tsongkhapa has many gurus. He received teaching from all the Tibetan that time lineages, traditions. He received teachings. The other, Nima lineage, Kaju lineage, Sacha lineage, these three lineage masters went to India and then received teaching, this translation, this many instructions Tibetan language. Like same as Marpa Losava, this is the father of Kaju lineage. So he went to India, he translated many texts to Tibetan language or the six yoga Naro Parai, and also many Mahamudra teachings. So many Pite stations say translation to Tibetan language. So it's Kaju traditions come from. Same the Nyingma Sacha, the many teachers translate from India language to Tibetan. So Tsongkhapa is not the Gelug tradition, starting from founder of Gelug lineage. He not went to India. He received teaching from all these Tibetan masters, different lineages. So he has such many teachers for, especially Maya Minka teachers, and then he has many Nyingma teachers, Kaju teachers. So he has so many gurus. So that's why I think he says here he put plural, the above down to my perfect gurus. Many gurus he has. Tsongkhapa was born in East Tibet, called Amdo area region, and then he went to Central Tibet. He received many teachings from all these teachers. So in Digong Kaju, his story says he stayed in 6 years in the Digong Mi monastery. Also, he shared the teaching there. He received campus theater from Digong Monastery in Digong Kaju lineage. And he shared teaching there 6 years. So his guru also, the Digong Kaju lineage, I think it's 8 lineage orders. So like that, many other the Tibetan lineages, he received all these teachings. So that's the reason he has many gurus, he bow down, respect, homage to gurus. So no, it means this teaching is, I shall try to explain as best as I can. So he going to say this is called promise. Promise like means I'm going to do something, right? Commitments. When teachers write some, commentary, compose some teachings, the beginning they do the homage to the gurus or yedam deities. So reason is because the teaching benefit for others and also remove obstacle. That's the reason the teaching has always homage beginning to the guru and the yedams. And then also these teachers who write some, special like this kind of teaching, great composing, then their commitments. So that's why he commitments. I shall try explain as best as I can. Means like he can, because Tsongkhapa is an emanation of the Manjushri. So in Tibet, his story they talk about the 3 Manjushiris. Tsongkhapa is an emanation of Manjushri. Satyapendata is emanation of Manjushri, and the Longchen Ramjam is an emanation of Manjushri. So this theory is called emanation of Manjushri. Then this theory has lots commentaries for teachings. So Tsongkhapa, he said, I shall try to explain as my best I can. Means he, like very humble way, reducing egos. So same is like Shanti Deva, he going to share the way of Bodhisattva, way of Bodhisattva. When he shared that, he said, I follow the, teachers, others, and he also mentioned about I don't know much. And so that's a respect and reduce ego, and also commitment together. The essential meaning of the victorious one's teachings means like the Buddha's teaching. He said he's going to bring to more essence ones. Then he's sharing here 3 principles like main essence of the teaching. So sometimes we talk about Four Noble Truths, four. Sometimes we talk about four thoughts, four. Sometimes we talk about six paramita, right? Six perfections. And sometimes we talk about two truths. So also another way, like Gambopa mentioned about four dharma of Gambopa. And this, each teacher has like some method using, like bring all these teachings like together, you know. And Jigdi Sungho is a five-part of Mahamudra. And Tsongkhapa, his most famous teaching is three principles, you know, part, bring together. So that means like this teaching guide is beginning to enter enlightenment. So which one is most essential, important? Their own experience, the sharing for us. If we follow this guide, you know, using this teaching, and we also can enlighten. Because this teacher, like example, Tsongkhapa, he used these three principle path, right? Three principles teaching. He did this practice. He used this practice. Then he realized. So he achievement enlightened, right? And then that's the reason, you know, his own experience is sharing for us. So we follow this instruction, we can reach enlightenment. The path pressed by all the holy victors and their children, the gateway of the fortunate one, desiring liberation. So the point is essence of Buddha's teaching, and also the, you know, all the bodhisattvas respect and follow this path. And then who wanted to liberate, and this is a part of liberation. That teaching is, Tsongkhapa said, he's going to share for us. Okay, so use this teaching, and we can liberate ourselves. Who wanted to liberate, then Tsongkhapa shared this liberation path. So he shares so many teachings. Tsongkhapa is a very famous scholar. There are so many teachings. So this is the essence of, I think, you know, like someone wanted to liberation. Using this three principle technique, and we can achieve enlightenment and liberation. So harder to, you know, all these scholars teaching, harder to learn, study, because so much. And that's why, you know, monastery is, you can spend whole life to study. And all these scholars sharing the teaching, so much already guide. So we don't have time to do that. And the generation time, and also now it's, you know, 21st century is like so busy, everybody's so busy. And this kind of time, we need these short instructions to use and practice, connect with the Dharma. So now, Kanda Sikbadela Machachin. So he now going to share the starting the first one, I think. Those who are not attached to the leisure of samsara, those who strive to make this life of freedom and adornment meaningful, who entrust themselves to the path, placing the victorious ones, this fortunate one, listen closely. And then this one is like Tsongkhapa, you know, sharing for us, gives suggestion, you know, like instruction for us, you know, listen to this teaching. So who going to listen in this teaching? Who wanted to liberate, right? Who wanted to liberate, then that person need, so those who are not attached to the pleasure of samsara, like we have to give up pleasure attachment samsara. So that's the hardest one, right? we don't want to give up pleasure, attachment, samsara. So this first section is, we have to create a big, very strong renunciation to the samsara. And that's the reason, here says, those who are not attached to the pleasure of samsara means like, who is not attached to the samsara? Then who really wanted to use this body is meaningful, they who really want to follow the Buddha's teaching, and that person is, is for the Karde means like fortunate ones. So then fortunate ones listen to this teaching. Who's fortunate one? Tell me. Who's fortunate one? Maybe we are fortunate one because we're listening to this teaching, right? And then when we're listening to this teaching, what we have to do is not attached to the pleasure of samsara means like, of course, generally, and we attach to samsara, but in this moment, when you already in this mandala, beginning, you enjoying the teaching. When we starting opening prayer, after finish dedication prayer, so we have to give up, our attached to the pleasure of samsara. So we have to give up, thinking about the samsara. Yeah. So the point is like our mind is followed by the dharma, connecting to the dharma, not thinking about samsara desired things. So no, in this moment, everybody, like focusing, listening to the teaching, and just giving up all worldly activity thoughts. If we don't give up worldly activity thoughts, then you're not really going to receive teaching. So we cannot create ourselves as fortunate one. Some can be fortunate one is like whole life, right? Whole life can be fortunate one, that they are given all the desires and they take all this, Buddha's teachings on the path, follow this instruction, and they create a meaning for whole life. So that is a fortunate one whole life. But we can create a fortunate one is like during this teaching. So we can create our fortunate one maybe one day, right? Or maybe like 2 hours. That's also meaningful too. So we can live like maybe 80 years, 60 years, 90 years, like, our life. And all these most years can be, useless, but we can make use for a couple hours. We can make use for like fortunate one couple hours. So that's we have to create often every single day. We have to create our fortunate one, Maybe 1 hour you practice, 1 hour you are fortunate one. Yeah. So during this teaching, so we have to create ourselves as fortunate one. So here then, those who strive to make this life of freedom and adornment meaningful, who really wanted to create a precious human body meaningful, and who really wanted to give up samsara suffering, and then, who really wanted to go to become liberate. So then is a lesson to this teaching. Themselves to the path, pleasing the victorious ones. So who really wanted to, enter themselves to the path, pleasing the victorious one, like who really wanted to make enlightened beings, happy. So do some good things, create a good thing, and offering to the enlightened beings who wanted to offering to enlightened beings. There is a lesson to this teaching. Listen closely. So here is important is we have to create a precious human body meditation. Yeah, so precious human body meditation really helps reduce our anxiety, reduce our sadness and depression. Who practice this precious human body, never ever going to get depression, I think. If they really cultivate, precious human body, not possible to get depression, not possible to get sadness, unhappy, feelings. Who cultivate precious human body, the person is always a joy, happy, because they cultivate, good. How to say, the all the time cultivate, appreciate our own self. So long as appreciate yourself, that feeling is positive feeling, right? Then positive feeling is antidote to negative sadness, depressions. So depression, sadness, all this feeling is sources very strong selfish, self-grasping. Yeah, and you cultivate, appreciate yourself, and then appreciate is like you recognize your good condition, and also arise like love, compassion for others. Precious human body practice really arise love, compassion for others, because we use object as a harem suffering beings, and meditate, arise compassion for harems, and we think about we free from harems, then we appreciate ourselves. Yeah, and then we think about animal realms, their suffering, we generate love and compassion animal realms, and we appreciate we are free from that state. See, so love and compassion is arising when you meditate precious human body. Same time, you also arise, appreciate yourself, good feeling. And as long as you keep that good feeling, we never get depression. Do you understand? So in the Western countries, so many people has depression because why get so many people depression, you think? Not cultivate precious human body. They don't thinking about it, they don't recognize their own ability, own good conditions, and always thinking about like someone who has a better life. So then think about own and like I don't have. So precious human body cultivate meditating is with no comparing who has something better, samsaric worldly better life. Okay, cultivate precious human bodies, we have to think about animal realms, how much they're suffering. And you think and you recognize, really arise compassion for them. And we recognize we are free from that state and take birth to human being, all lucky. And then also you recognize your own ability. So that's why it's a good mirror, showing for ourselves, meditate precious human body. So the precious human body you meditate, cultivate, will get rid of our own negative feelings. It's create a very good positive feeling, and then create happiness ourselves. Very powerful meditation too. As long as you practice, yeah. You guys are sleeping, right? Huh? No, I can see you in front. Like many falling asleep here. Okay. Okay. In the zone, I have to check they are sleeping or not. So I can see here, sleeping or not, in the zone, everybody's waking up really clearly so far. So who on the video camera, I can see wake up. So amazing. So next then, the Tsongkhapa said, please listen, right? Listen for the teaching. So listen closely. Then starting the first one. So starting first is this three principle. The first one, without a completely pure renunciation, there is no way to pacify the attachment that seeks pleasurable effect in the option of samsara. So without renunciation, then not possible to cross ocean of samsara, and not possible to reach peaceful nirvana state. So that reason, even we cannot give up attachment in this, the life, but when we recognize that when we die, then we have to give up full attachment and focus Buddha Amitabha, pray to Buddha Amitabha, practice Buddha Amitabha. And that is the, we have to practice. We created that connection very strong to the take birth to Buddha Amitabha pure life. So, ordinary people, not easy to give up all the attachment, not easy. Yeah. So generally, of course, we have an attachment, like within, like example, one day within 24 hours, attachment going on with us. But at least we can give up attachment within 24 hours, 1 hour. So then that's very powerful. Last night I shared the teaching with you, right? 1 hour meditation is more powerful than 23. We get deluded. The 1 hour meditation is more powerful, 23 like delusions. Same, I think, we cannot give up attachment maybe or, or within 24 hours. But when we practice like 1 hour meditate or be in the, some connect with the Dharma practice, 1 hour, not thinking about the worldly activity, just let go all these worldly things, get rid of from the mind and connect with the Dharma and the practice. So that is created like every single day, 1 hour meditation states. Practice connect with the Dharma. Then you can have 23 hours, can follow by all this worldly activity. You have time to do that, right? We have time to do that. So then that's, I think very strong connect with the spiritual path. 1 hour we cultivate, practice, give up all worldly activity and connect with the spiritual path. So that's why this morning I shared the supplication to Tara, supplication to the Tara. The Jikin Sungho also mentioned about, unwholesome worldly activity, right? We lost unwholesome worldly activity. We always, our minds lost unwholesome worldly activity. Because 24 hours always thinking about the worldly activity, samsara. And so we recognize that and going back into the dependent individual level, individual level. If who knows like Mahamudra meditation, Dzogchen meditation, then just go back to own nature states, and let go all these delusions dissolved. We have to create that, meditation habitual connections, practice that we have to create often and often. And then in this case, we have to read this sadhana in the text. So reading is really helpful. Our minds again be followed by attachment, worldly things. Then you read these prayers, and that moment, then you can get rid of all this worldly attachment. Because the power of this, prayers. So that's it. We have to create, like we cannot give up attachment, like cut everything through, and we cannot do like same as like garbage, throw it into the garbage can, right? Yeah. So actually same, like long as you have a home, every single day you generate garbage at your home. Yeah. So we have to clean up again and again all the time. Same, like long as we have minds deluded, we all the time, every time we generate and this attachment and emotions, thoughts. So we have to clean up often and often our mind. So that's why if you wake up morning, if you can cultivate precious human body, also it's clean up. And then daytime, like you read these prayers, practice like something, connection to practice, that's also clean our mind. That's I think is very importantly we have to create often. So without a completely pure renunciation, pure renunciation is like really recognize samsara as a suffering. And we have to meditate, this is for defect of samsara. And think about this samsara, who has a really true happiness? Every single being chasing happiness, who really get true happiness? Right? No one through the worldly activity or ultra level, no one get true happiness. So I'm in Florence right now in Italy. I hear lots of stories like his story here. So somebody created all these special museums, right? The art centers. No, it's just memorized for them. So, these are all whatever we do, worldly activity, and then become just everything's gone. Nothing can take with us. So who create all this, museums like this city is so beautiful, but right now this always a history. That just people say that family did it, but no, only you can see the house or something, right? Paintings. But where the family goes, I ask questions, nobody has answered. So that's I don't know where they're gone, right? So same, that's in the within samsara, whatever we do, not get anything true happiness. So that's we have to recognize like defect of samsara means. Whatever we do, work hard, so hard in this life, when we die, nothing to carry with us. And recognizing that is really helpful. What helpful? You have something strong fixation object attached to something. Your mind is not. You can release that. Your mind is not so strong fixation. And you can take care, your loved ones, your family, your job, but mind is not strongly fixated, attached to that. Then, one day, of course, like everything is impermanent, going to part of, everything is going to fall in part of separate. Cannot be everything kept together. So now we're gathering here, like 1 hour after we go separate. Same, like this is like short moment we created, like 1 hour, 2 hours together. But also, family also actually short time too. Together means not too long. And our life is not that too long. So whatever we create, everything is a very short time. So we don't know when we die, right? We don't know anything. We don't have a certainty when we're going to die. Like no one has certainty. No one has knows what going to happen next year. So everything's impermanent. Everything's changing. So that's why here Tsongkhapa, he mentioned about this 4 thoughts meditation is very important. without a complete pure renunciation, the pure renunciation is where does it come from? The pure renunciation causes is four thoughts meditation. And that's why in Tibet tradition, we go to 3 years retreat. The four thoughts meditation have to practice 100 days, at least. Then meditator practitioners every single day cultivate four thoughts, every single day. So Buddha, when he shared the teaching, always mention about the four thoughts first. His four thoughts is basic preliminary practice. Then when you're going to receive empowerment, also four thoughts meditation is there. If we attach to in this samsara, then not possible to get in nirvana. So that's why we have to, get renunciation to samsara. How to get renunciation samsara? We have to cultivate a precious human body, meditation. We have to cultivate impermanent meditate. We have to cultivate meditate cause and effect. We have to cultivate meditate defect of samsara. So this four thoughts meditation helps. Then, pure renunciation arising within our mind, heart. So long as renunciation is strong in our heart, we are free from suffering already. Because suffering is attachment. So renunciation means you're not attached to anything. Like you wanted to give up everything. Like give up means don't give up object. Mind, no attached to fixation to that. So then your mind has already like same as a space, like expanding already, not stuck any specific, object. So giving up is like sometimes we misunderstand. Of course, the misunderstanding means like 3 different levels of practice. And the Hinayana tradition create renunciation, then is giving up all the condition or causes of condition of attachment, the giving up. That's why, some Vinayana tradition, everything is tried to be very simple. Don't get tight or trapped. This is samsaric things. You don't want to go close to that. The Mahayana level, you don't run away from this conviction of samsara, the object. So you use that object, create more generosity and more accumulation, merit, offerings. Use that practice. You don't have to run away. But then Vajrayana tradition, just mind not attached to that object. The mind create everything is like treasure object, offering object. So enlightening object, something, enlightenment object. The mind is no longer fixation attached to that. Then whatever you have owned, the object is no longer the obstacle to the liberation. So that's the different levels. The point is like here, we get pure renunciation. It's like mind not so strong fixation attached to samsaric object things. There is no way to pacify with attachment that seeks pleasurable effect in the ocean of samsara. If we don't give up strong fixation attachment, not possible to cross over samsara. So this is ultra level living thinking, cross ocean of samsara, right? Inner level, like, we think about our body have many chakra levels. And as long as your mind is strongly fixation attached to lower chakra, you not possible go to upper chakra. If you don't go to upper level chakras, then you never have this nirvana experience. So you always have this samsara experience. Not possible to you get upper level, charas experience. So that's the inner level, usually share the teaching. Outer level, we just need, give up attachment object or the samsara object. We get renunciation. We want to cross over samsara to liberate. Then also by curving for cyclic existence, embodied beings are continuously bound. They forsake renunciation from the very beginning. So the main show about I have to log also like Tibetan and then go to the English. Little bit take time, need patience, okay? Okay, who also by craving for cyclic existence, embodied beings are continuously bound, therefore seek renunciation from the very beginning. So it's strong like fixation, attachment, then bound, like stuck with, like trapped with in the samsara. So not possible to, go to the spiritual path and go into the liberation direction or liberation. So that's the reason we have to create, embodied beings are continuously bound. Therefore, seek renunciation from the very beginning means like we have to create very strong renunciation, starting the practice. So without renunciation, actually, the Vinayana tradition, we cannot receive also vows too, without renunciation. Your mind is so strongly attached to home, family, and you cannot get to receive the Vinayana vow. Vinayana vow is, no renunciation is the for the preliminary practice. So first we get a renunciation, recognize samsara is a suffering, and then I want to liberate. So then you take the vows, right? And if you so strong fixation to samsara, very happy and enjoy with the samsara, then you not seeking, not thinking about the liberation. So liberation vow doesn't work for the who strongly, fixation attached to the samsara. So that's the reason, we cultivate four thoughts, meditate, and then see the samsara as a suffering, recognize, and I want to liberate. And we have created that mind, in our heart, or, we created that very strong, wanting liberation. Then receive the vow is very powerful. So that's why here Tsongkhapa mentioned about the renunciation from the very beginning means starting from refuge ceremony, starting from then any vows you're going to receive, we have to, the conviction or first, we need renunciation to samsara. So renunciation, we cannot keep always in your mind. That moment we really need renunciation samsara if you're going to take refuge like vows. Because we see the samsara as a suffering. I want to take refuge to Buddha Dharma Sangha. Means like you looking some protections. Yeah. If your boat is sinking in the water, in the ocean, then that moment you really want something protection. Right? Seeking for refuge means like some strongly giving, not thinking about your boats. You can give a boat, nothing is important. And you seeking something, your own refuge. So like that, we need that kind of create mind, very strong renunciation. and then take refuge vows. Then after take refuge vows, you can lose that again. Like example, when we have refuge vows, you cannot keep all the time like 24 hours of renunciation in your mind. If you have a renunciation 24 hours with your mind, you can enlighten it easy, very fast. But we cannot keep within 24 hours of renunciation in the mind. But when you take refuge, when you practice and meditate, just let go all this worldly thinking, concepts, thoughts, let go and connect with the Dharma. So that's very important. Then next is freedom and adornment are difficult to find and the life is short. So here Lama Tsongkhapa sharing is, I already talked to here, explain, precious human body meditation and impermanent. So then you meditate these two, freedom and adornment are difficult to find. So we have to recognize that this precious human body is very hard to get, not easy to get. You think so or no? Yeah, because think about so many animals, human beings not so many. But then not only take birth to human beings, who has a renunciation samsara, that is called precious human body. Already Tsongkhapa mentioned about up there, fortunate ones means like who want to liberate, who don't want start samsara, who has a renunciation. That person is a fortunate one. So that person is called, precious human body. Not only just get human being's body. So then that person, how many is like, even 1% is hard. You can find in the world. So very few. When ready to come to Dharma and samsara, worldly activity is so important that come to person. So very hard to go to the Dharma practice, connect with the Dharma, So we know that, we recognize that. If someone going to singing something, music and the dance, 100 people gathering easy, like then big party, drink, everyone is waking up, like can go to there is like until tomorrow, like 3 a.m., 4 a.m. That time, everyone has time. Everyone has time. Everyone excited, enjoy, everyone is waking up. No one is tired. Why that happening? Because within our body has, negative feeling and positive feeling. Negative feeling always bring desire, these samsaric things. And then, negative feeling is dominant. When you do this samsara activity, your mind is waking up. You never get tired. Then that time, you always have time to do, So that means like our spiritual energy is very weak. And samsara energy is so strong within our mind and body. These two energies always within ourselves, fighting. So then when you come to the practice of Dharma, if you get in the Dharma teaching place, it's great. But most people, first, no connection to Dharma. Second, even have connections, very hard to get into the place because of worldly things, so many important things come up. So even you get in the space, then, fogginess, sleeping, still this, negativity and energy is dominant. And that's why, we see clearly people who practice always the Dharma and who has more connect with the Dharma, they go to worldly activities so tired, sad, actually, not happy, not passion for that. They come to practice the Dharma, then like they can meditate and practice it 24 hours, not tired. It's another hand, It's very easy to do that. So then they can practice all the time. Without practice, they cannot just stay, wasting time. So that's also like the positive energy is so strong already for them. So we have to think about where we are. Not too bad, right? You okay? I think we're okay, right? At least we get here together. And if zone people can come to the zone, they can stay listening, teaching. So that's also a good thing, really. Not too bad, but don't go for sleep, okay? So we are in here, the Florence, and have to close the windows because of the noisy. And inside building is hot. We don't have air conditions. We practice lots of patience here. Okay, so I think usually in this city no air conditions, right? Right? Yes or no?
No, not that much in compared to Canada, for example.
People don't use air condition much, right?
No, in Italy not that much. It's not that usually in Italy to use it air conditioning.
That's good actually.
Yeah.
Save energies, like used to then easy. Okay, listening to Americans, the Italy don't use that much air conditions, even hot weather. So here we are, freedom and domain are difficult to find, and life is short. You think life is short or very long? I think life is very short. So also this time is a year is so fast. 1 year is like when I was young, 1 week, and this time 1 year is almost similar. 1 year is so fast. Then how many years we can stay? Like think about, not much. Very short. So that's why life is very short. By beginning familiarity with this, so when we're going to practice the Dharma, we need to think about our precious human body, our good condition we have. Also, we have to think about cultivate impermanent. So we have to by beginning familiarity with this, like meditate. So these two, precious human body meditation and permanent meditation, helps attraction to the appearance of this life is eliminated. So reduce attachment in this life. Precious human body meditation and impermanent meditation helps no longer like really you fixation in this life, attached to this life. So then you can use this life as meaningful life. If we strongly fixation attached to in this life, then our life is miserable suffering, miserable, no good life. Whose strong fixation attached to in this life, the family is miserable. The person is miserable, suffering. Because no any open mind, open heart, no compassion, no wisdom, due to attachment, fixation. The Buddha is in front of there, they don't see, they don't recognize. That is due to strong fixation, attachment on this life. Do you understand what I'm talking? Okay, so that's why you cultivate a precious human body, like recognize, oh, I have this precious human body, I have to use for meaningful something, this, right? Otherwise, this life is very short. Yeah, I give you like 1 million coupon for you. The 1 million coupon is like only can last like 24 hours. What are you going to do? So I say, only you can spend in this city and around. So then, what are you going to do with this? Right? You try to spend that because otherwise, like your coupon is going to expire. So same, we have this precious human body, so valued, more than like 100 million coupon. Okay, 100 million euros or dollars a coupon. We have like precious coupon, like enlightenment in this use this life. So, but it is limited. I mean, the impermanent. Coupon is going to expire, but then it's become garbage, right? Just piece of paper, then nothing to do. So then you're going to go shop whole night, I think. Think about how to spend that one, like not going to expire and lose that. So who has a precious meditation and impermanent meditation, the person is the same is like that. They recognize this time is very precious and recognize it's very short. And that's why they use this life is for meaningful. And then they make this life is meaningful life. There's no wasting life. So that's why the wasting life is a very strong fixation attached to in this life. So strong fixation attached to in this life, then I already shared with you, life is a miserable suffering. No happy, no joy. So that's the reason here says, attraction to the appearance of this life is eliminated. By thinking over and over again that actions and their effects are unfeeling, and repeatedly contemplating the miseries of single existence, attraction to the appearance of future lives is eliminated. So this is very powerful. Then, so we cultivate again, cultivate is cause and effect. Think about cause and effect. So we want happiness, right? We want happiness. Then we don't want to suffer, right? We're scared, we fear for our suffering. So that's why we have to give up causes of suffering. So we want happiness, we have to create a causes of happiness. The karma cause and effect. Yeah. So we have to follow that and we have to create a positive karma. Positive karma nature result is naturally happiness. Negative karma nature is result is naturally suffering. So no one make that. Yeah, sun is naturally heat. And the same, we create good karma, result is natural happiness. Fire nature is naturally hot, burning. So same, like good karma, nature is naturally result is happiness. Negative karma, nature is result is suffering. No one created. That's called nature of phenomena, nature law of phenomena. And we have to recognize that. So then, defect of samsara, right? In the samsara, like we already shared, doesn't matter where we take birth, long as we belong to samsara citizen, and you go to higher realms or lower realms, doesn't matter, long as we are in the single existing in the samsara citizen, then no one has true happiness, no one has true permanent happiness, and everything is temporary. So that's, if you think that again and again, recognize, and then we really wanted to liberate. then that makes become, a benefit is then no attach fixation to future life. So future life, you think about, oh, I want to take birth to in Italy. You don't have that feeling, okay? Because, you recognize wherever we take birth, no one has permanent happiness. So some people wanted to take birth. I want to take birth to someone, like within samsara. So that is like, okay, temporarily thinking, we cannot say your thinking is wrong. Even don't think about nothing thing is good, I want to take birth, like, okay, like good place, something good happen, because at least you thinking about future life. That is basically first level is good, but long as you really cultivate cause and effect and defect of samsara, only want to liberate, no wanted to take birth any these countries. Doesn't matter which country, like good or bad, it doesn't matter. It's still within samsara. So we take birth human beings in the different country within samsara. We take birth gods, jealous gods, wherever we take birth is within samsara. We don't want it to belong, we are part of the samsara citizen. We don't want it to belong to samsara again and again. We wanted to liberate. So that's the who has this strong mind, or like wanting that so strong arise in your mind and heart, that is called renunciation. Only wanted to liberation. So the samsara is called cyclic existence, what is a year of samsara, right? Year of samsara is a year. So someone released from the jail, they don't want to go back in the jail. So jail or samsara, something like that. So then you know attached to in the jail again. So better release, right? And when we chant also Sukhavate Buddha Amitabha prayer, there's one word is Sagunyani Tarvajan, means this one watcher is put in the cage. It's stuck there extremely suffering. You release the watcher. Watcher never even go back to the cage where they stuck. It's flew like directly to the sky. So same like that we need, I want liberate freedom. Not thinking about the samsara, I want to take birth in Italy or somewhere, okay? Don't think about that too. Only liberation. Good way. So then future life is eliminated. So no attached to future life. So that's called the renunciation. No attached to this life, no attached to future life. So wanted to freedom. When by having trained in that way, so you practice it that way, there's no arising, not even for a second, of attraction to the excellences of cyclic existence. Wow. That's powerful, right? So when by having training, we practice the way, so then no arising, not even for a second, 1 second of attraction to the excellences of cyclic existence, not attached to even 1 second in samsara. Can you do that or not? Oh, then wonderful. Yeah.
There is a continuum of mental being.
Yeah. And day and night, the intention seeking liberation arises, then the thoughts of renunciation has been generated. So then day and night always wanted to practice Dharma, wanted to use liberation, practicing. Yeah. So, and this one is like, example is in the 37 practice Buddhist, when we talk about the joyful effort, the whole that we have to create effort, joyful effort to practice. And then we create day and night, the intention seeking liberation arises, then the thought of renunciations arising very strong has been generated. So mind need renunciation to samsara. The body, you give up this samsara, say, okay, I don't want to be in this place, I don't like these people, I don't want to be in this city. You go to another place, also there is a samsara again. Doesn't matter wherever we go, right? So mind have to create a renunciation. The long as we have a renunciation, wherever you stay, that place is nirvana. And our samsara, worldly people, renunciation is not talking about homeless, Do you understand? Homeless people, they don't have renunciation. They're extremely suffering. So who has renunciation means like king be king be president, Like most powerful person can be who has very strong renunciation. They can give everything for others, like no attachment. But they can have everything, that's called renunciation too. So you can have many houses, many objects, precious things, family, but mind is no attached fixation there. Yeah, your mind is liberated and more relaxed. Even like losing something, no sad attached to that. And everything is like your energy is moving within your body and mind, right? No strong stuck object fixation. So that's called renunciation. Otherwise, long as you have that in your mind, you're no longer suffering samsara. Do you understand? So then you can own anything, everything, but really need anything. Renunciation is a totally different idea. Without a renunciation ourselves, this teaching is like sometimes makes people scared and no pleasant, because like those like have to give up everything, right? You have to go to run away from this, or this our comfort to go to maybe solitary place, those like, but not that case. The important is whatever we have, we take care of that, but no strong fixation attached to that. Your mind need to create a relax and more flexible and more generosity. We have to create. The long as we have that, then everything is like become activity, or is dharma activity. So attraction to the appearance of future life is not even for a second. And the day and the night intention seek liberation arises, then the thoughts of renunciation by generated. They only want to practice the Dharma, really recognize the Dharma practice is the only, cause of happiness. So when that recognize, we have renunciation. Even if renunciation has been developed, if one hasn't generated pure bodhicitta, it will not become the cause of perfect joy of unsurpassed enlightenment. Therefore, the wise generate the supreme mind of enlightenment. So samsara is like really terrible road, muddy, you can stuck there, and then you cannot walk. So that kind of samsara attachment. So your four thoughts meditation is you have forward drive the car. You have a very powerful car forward. You're not going to stuck in the muddy road. It's terrible road, bad road. Still you can go through. So that is the same as the four thoughts meditation. Sometimes we call for training the mind, for mind training, for mind training practice. So then you have a good, this engine, the four good forwards, but if you don't have a roof and the car, you don't have like other protections, you don't have the steering wheels, then that's also no benefit much, right? So that means like we need bodhicitta protections, our own protection. So protecting for samsara, protecting ourselves. So bodhicitta is the same as like you have a forward drive car, same time you have a roof. You have drawers, 4 drawers, 4 drawers is the same as 4 measurable. Like you open the 4 drawers, people can, bring into who's suffering, you can bring into there. That's the same as the 4 measurable, 4 drawers you can open. You can, who's stuck in samsara, you can bring that beings in there. The open the drawer, 4 measurable. Then you have a roof, you have all these doors, windows, everything, protection. So that's the same as like you have love, compassion, if long as you be inside there, and then this ultra level, the wind cannot be frozen, weather cannot be frozen, and sun cannot be burned. You have, air condition, you can stay inside the car safely, without suffering, So that's the same as like you have love, you have a compassion, you have 4 measurable practice, all this is the same as like that. Then bodhicitta is the same as like, strength, like the diverse holder, right? What is it called? Strength. That's the same as bodhicitta. So bodhicitta take you to the right path. Strength taking you to the right path. Without bodhicitta, even you have good forward dive, but doesn't work very well. Yeah. So that's the reason here says we need bodhicitta. Even if renunciation has been developed, if one hasn't generated pure bodhicitta, it will not become the cause of the perfect joy of unsurpassed enlightenment. Therefore, the wise generate the spirit mind of enlightenment. So we have to create bodhicitta. Bodhicitta is enlightened mind, spirit of enlightened mind. Then the bodhicitta is come from compassion meditation. Compassion is come from love meditation. So that's the reason we have to create love first. Love is wishing every single being have happiness. Compassion is every single being is free from suffering. So we have to cultivate that often and often. And so how to use that, like love, starting from our own mother, right? The relative love meditation is starting from our own mother. We think about our own mother's kindness. And think that arise very strong love to our own mother. And then, that love is moved to other beings. So then slowly the love is expanding to our enemies. So then enemy also become, when you see your enemy, your not anger arise, love arise to enemy. So that means our love is successful. love is successful or not is like we have to test with checking with our enemies. Yeah. Then love is arise. The cause is the love. Result is a compassion arise. Compassion, we meditate also starting from mother, like wishing our mother free from suffering, and then we wishing every single being is free from suffering. Also, we have to think about like, hospital, so many patients, sickness, people who go hospital, everybody get sick and suffering there. And use that object, create compassion. So then compassion is strongly arise our heart, is then become causes of bodhicitta. Bodhicitta means we wanted to liberate everyone, because in the whatever we have benefit in samsara, is everything is temporary. So then who has bodhicitta means like bodhicitta ma is like recognize samsara is a suffering. So recognize, enlightening is important. Only that state is the true happiness. And then I want liberate someone, you sharing the Dharma, giving, to connect with the Dharma others, create the causes for enlightenment. So that's called the bodhicitta mind. Bodhicitta is not ordinary people has means, because ordinary people never think that way, Ordinary people only have love and compassion, helping for others, but they don't think I want to liberate the person is free from samsara to enlightenment. This spirit mind of enlightenment, bodhicitta arise, you have the strength in your hand, then you can jump. So, next is Shuddha Choja Junduga Legend Chiwatami Dandan Jajata Mari Maji Gani Demi Misigaji Chiwatuma Suni Jinjime. So then here is like the very beautiful bodhicitta. So how do we create a bodhicitta? It's so beautiful. Swept away by the current of the four power rivers, tried by the tight veins of karma, so difficult to undo, trapped in the iron net of self-grasping, completely enveloped by the total darkness of ignorance. So this, we talked is defect of samsara. Samsara is, same like here, right now, Tsongkhapa sharing. So it's due to our karma. We really don't have a choice. So pieces of object in the water, big river, the big river flowing, carry that object, anything in the river, right? Same, like these four different karmas, very powerful, like four rivers. Same, our karma. Then also due to our attachment. So attachment, the example, the very powerful four rivers coming, flowing. If we are stuck there, we don't have to control ourselves, because water going to flow, take wherever the power of water, we follow that. And then same time, our affective emotion is tied up, we cannot swim in the water. The first water is so strong, rushing. And even good swim people not possible to swim, like very harsh river storm. and then your hands tight, your legs tight. The same is like afflictive emotions tight us already. Then due to our self-grasping, not only tight, put in the iron box, then not possible to you can free from the in the river to out. So even you have a good skill to swim, but your leg is tight, your hand is tight, you are in the iron box, how you can get out? They also don't see anything because it's like due to ignorance. Everything is dark. Then the water carries that box is like immeasurable. I mean, like unlimitedly take away. So same, we kept going samsara and unlimited. Then due to that we get like in the suffering samsara. So suffering of suffering, suffering of change, pervasive of suffering. This suffering is uninterrupted. So then that's we have to recognize, have to compassion to that kind of all samsaric beings. Then create bodhicitta, So that's why here this beautiful word Tsongkhapa sharing here, by the carrying of the four power of rivers, tied by the G-E-I-D is what called tied by the tight bonds of karma. So difficult to undo. Trapped in the iron net of self-grasping, completely enveloped by the total darkness of ignorance, endless reborn in cyclic existence, ceaselessly tormented by the three sufferings. So far I shared that part, sufferings. Thinking that, then we think about that, all mothers are in such conditions. All mother sentient beings are like this kind of such condition, difficulty situations. Then we have to generate the spirit mind of enlightenment. We create generate love and compassion, bodhicitta. We have to generate for other beings. Without the wisdom, realize ultimate reality. Even though you have generated renunciation and bodhicitta, it's not possible to cut the root cause of samsara. So even we have a bodhicitta, but still cannot cut the causes of samsara. So that's what we need. We need wisdom. So wisdom is the same as your car engine. Yeah. So bodhicitta, you have strength where you can dive. You have four thoughts meditation. So now you need a good engine. So the engine is the same as I think wisdom. So then you have good, tires, good wheels, four-wheel drive. You have all these four doors. You have all the roof, top, everything what you need conditions, good conditions for safety. And you have a string where you hold, you have ability to do because you really wanted to get out from that space. Now you have choose yourself because you hold the string well, right? You are down, and then you have a good engine. Then you can go through like wherever you wanted to go, and you're not going to any longer stuck there, suffering place. Do you understand? So that's why here is like completely, create all these instructions together. So first instruction is four thoughts, renunciation, forward dive. Okay, samsara is a really bad road, right? Bad space. And we wanted to get rid out from that space to run away. And then we need a forward drive. So you have that, as long as you have renunciation samsara, want to liberate. Second, we need a bodhicitta because you need to, you know, where is you have to use. We must be diverse. And some are that we don't know they're going to, where they wanted to go. So we wanted to go right direction means like right path is bodhicitta. Long as bodhicitta, everything is the right direction. Then nothing is wrong. So without a bodhicitta, body, speech, beautiful, but still can be wrong. Cannot trust. So the bodhicitta arises, then everything we can trust, everything can rely on to the bodhicitta. And that's why, you have strength with your hand, long as bodhicitta with you. So then we need is here wisdom. So that's why the third is going to share wisdom. Without the wisdom, realize the ultimate reality, even though you have generated renunciation and bodhicitta, it's not possible to cut the root of cause of samsara. Therefore, strive for the method for realization depending arising. So, here is the generate. I think therefore for method realize depending arising. So wisdom is depending arising means talking about emptiness. Emptiness explained here is beautiful. Tsongkhapa he explained. When he explained in emptiness in this three principle teaching here, he explained emptiness. All Nyingma tradition, Saja tradition, Kagyu tradition, everyone bowed down to the Tsongkhapa. He explains really beautiful, very profound. That this we know, so like he is the realizer emptiness. Very powerful, he explained. But then Tsongkhapa has two different sections teaching. In this section, all the Kagyu, Nyingma, Saja, everyone bowed down to Tsongkhapa, what he's saying here. But then another teaching, emptiness, he explained, is Kagyu Nyingma Sacha said is relative truth, not really absolute truth. Tsongkhapa is not really his realization teaching because he wanted to have for his students. And that's why he shared another level. They have lots, then disagreed each other in the Mayamika teaching. But then this one, just I'll go to little bit history, what is happening in Tibet, like all this philosopher is debater, is always disagree and fighting all the time. Not physically fighting, not afflictive emotion fighting, and the making, clarifying each other, actually helping each other. So the reason is, like which philosopher is working not strong enough, other lineage. The other lineage philosopher teachers is strong, more knowledge. Then criticize a little bit others' teaching. Because that helps you try to get more strong. You wanted to learn, that push you more strong in the path. So that's this tradition, another method. And so that's why one in the during one the lineage is also like always like another is strong, another is like sometimes decreasing, all the time like go back and forth change, Same is like right now in the countries. So you don't know who has more strong, sometimes another is decreasing a little bit, some is become more dominant, strong. So exactly like that. And one time is in the Kagyu tradition is more weaker, and not many philosophers. So the Sajapendita, he created many these Kagyu teachings, like he criticized or something. He say, like he pushed very hard for them. So actually, he says, I want to help them. I want to help. That's why I'm telling these things. They wanted to know more, and really recognize what is true, right teaching. So like that, and the teachers lost debating anyway. So Tsongkhapa, he shared this into this section emptiness. It's same is Nagarjuna, same is Chandrakirti, same is Shanti Deva. So that's all the Kaju Nyingma, these scholars recognize. When this share Tsongkhapa, he's sharing these teachings like his young age time. He shared these teachings. So that's called My Yamika has two sections. Like one is just like what he going to share here is very beautiful. Then when he getting old, Tsongkhapa, he share another these emptiness sections. So it's slightly different become. So then what happened is like this. I learned this teaching from many, Kaju tradition, Kempo, Nima tradition, Kempos. I received these teachings. They're talking about, Tsongkhapa. His true view is this one. His realized view. When he's realized, he shared this teaching. But slowly, why he changed? The reason is because his students don't have that level of realization. That's why he want to help them. And he just said like, first floor is a third floor. I mean, the second floor is a third floor. He didn't mention about the third floor. The second floor, yeah, this is a third floor, so this is the highest one. So, example, three different floors. And the teacher's guide, in this one, Tsongkhapa mentioned about clearly the third floor. He took to the third floor, highest floor, and said, that's it. And then slowly he changed, means like he didn't mention about this third floor. He guided these people, and the second floor, he said, that's it. So this is the highest level. And that's why the Tsongkhapa has two, his young age time teaching, and when he ordered guide his student, teaching two sections are happening. And first section is like Kaju Nima, or this is such a tradition, everyone accept yes. Second one, there's still not the highest level he shared. It is only, not really absolute truth. So I don't know how to say, use English. They have my Yamika has two traditions, and then so he followed by another tradition.
Margarita would say that there are two.
So that's the section I'm going to share tomorrow. I think we finished there today. That section is very beautiful. It's emptiness, interdependent section. And as long as you have time and read also, these teachings, root text, I cannot share all, like the meanings, like so profound. Actually, we have to follow by commentary, but we don't have a commentary. It goes to commentary also very long, then become. So the noise, what I share, you just read again, and then read again, meditate, practice. So tomorrow I'm going to talk the wisdom section. Today, so we finish the first two. First one is renunciation, then second is bodhicitta. So we finish that. Thank you, everyone, and I'm going to do the dedication. Dorje Jang, the Loba, Naroba, Marba, Malareba, Dharma, Lodi Gamboba, Pamotraba, Lodi Gomba, please visit to helping us, Mosas, Please, Borokaju Lamas. By this virtue may achieve nations by defeating our enemies confusion. May all who traverse on the ways of birth or age, sickness, and death across the ocean of samsara. Bodhicitta, they explain the precious of mind, where the Sambho may say rising, where the Sambho may say not decline, but ever increase higher and higher. I pray the Lama may have a good health. I pray the Lama may have a long life. I pray that your Dharma activity suffer far and wide. I pray that I may not be suffering from you.
Tempo dropped.
Yeah, I think we'll wait a second and see if he reappears.
He's back.
I lost connections, right?
Yes, you did, Kempo.
Okay. I'm going to do again. By the blessing of Buddhas who attain the Trikayas, by the blessing of the true one changing Dharma as such, by the blessing of divisible Sangha order may I share bear fruit. By the virtue collected in the 3 times by my 7 old beings in samsara and nirvana, and by the inner rule of virtue, may I and all sentient beings quickly attain unsurpassed enlightenment, complete precious enlightenment. May the teaching of Guru Gompa Ranachar, who is omniscient, Lord of Dharma, Master of interdependence, continue to increase through study, practice, contemplation, and meditation, until end of the samsara. Om Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Thank you, everyone. So, Zom Sangha, see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Kempola.
So we have a forum. It's a
感恩上师祝法体安康，长久住世，法门长存。
Kempo, we won't be able to hear you.
short teaching.